This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
And the time right now is 4:27 here on your Wednesday morning. We want to thank you for starting your day with us here at RTV6. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. You are probably up right now, maybe because of that heavy rainfall overnight. We are going to take a look at that here in just a moment. That rainfall there, adding to some, we need this rain here, but it is making the roadways wet. And this is ahead of a heat warning that we have.
And when I was on my way in, especially driving through Perry Township, it got really heavy. And since we haven't had a lot of rain, a lot of the oils from the cars on the road made things pretty slippery. So as people are heading out the door, even if the heavy rain has stopped, they need to watch out because the ponding and just the slickness on the roads.
That's right. And we're actually not done yet. We still have some of that rain moving through today. The good news is it's mostly going to be the first half of the day, but we do have a line of storms moving through right now. And then things are going to start to taper off as we head into the afternoon and this system moves out. But you can see this line of storms moving through is actually a few storms. We have some lightning strikes in there as well, just to the north of Greensburg. Now, behind this, today we're in the 80s. Tomorrow we are going to see those temperatures in the mid-90s, and then we are going to see those heat index values in the triple digits. 108 expected for the heat value here. So that's what it's actually going to feel like. So this is going to be our last somewhat cooler day in the forecast for quite a stretch. You guys said we have that excessive heat watch in effect. That is going to be with us from tomorrow until Sunday. So 4 days of excessive heat. So people really need to be careful, really hydrate and stay indoors if they can.
Okay, Alyssa, thank you. It has been 1 year since the duck boat disaster in Missouri. 9 members of an Indianapolis family killed when that duck boat sank on Table Rock Lake.
And we're hearing a statement from Tia Coleman. She was a surviving family member who was part of that accident and is speaking out again on this. And there's been a lot that's happened since a year ago when this tragedy struck. They've been looking into safety of these types of tourist attractions, and obviously a sad day for people here in Indianapolis remembering those 9 family members. We'll have more on that coming up. But to some good news, you guys saw a really fun show with us yesterday. Shark Tank coming right here to Indianapolis, and I don't know about you guys, but we had a blast seeing all those ideas.
Yeah, there was a lot of creative stuff out there. There were about 200 pitches that were made to those Shark Tank producers. So we are going to have a recap of that coming up this morning here on Good Morning Indiana. Plus, we have got plenty of news, weather, and a check of your traffic here to start your Wednesday.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Have you seen this man? Now at 4:30, the string of crimes Metro Police say he's accused of committing across the city.
A truck involved in a horrific crash is revealing information itself about its role in the collision on I-465 that killed a mother and her twin daughters. This morning, how it is highlighting holes in the driver's original story.
And a new apartment complex ready for tenants on Mass Ave. How much it's going to cost you to move in. Time right now, 4:30 here on your Wednesday morning. I want to thank you for starting your day with us early here on RTV6. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Alyssa Donovan here. We have a lot to get to weather-wise.
Yes,
you
we
probably
do.
heard the rainfall either overnight or early this morning. You might be getting some rain right now in your neighborhood. And then once the rain is done, the heat arrives.
Yes, we've had a busy weather week. We've had this rain today as Barry has moved up. And then we had it yesterday afternoon. Now we are moving on to the heat as we head into tomorrow. Excessive heat watch goes into effect tomorrow afternoon. That's because those heat index values are going to be very dangerously high. Right now, starting mild and warm this morning, we are seeing that humidity back in the forecast. Temperatures in the 70s across the area, and we still have some showers and thunderstorms moving through. That line of storms continuing to move to the southeast this morning. That is bringing some of those heavy showers and some lightning right to the south of Greenfield right now and just to the north of Shelbyville. Also seeing a few of those pop up right around Noblesville. So if you are in those areas, you are going to start to hear some of that heavy rain at your house very soon. Behind this, we're going to continue to see this build out today. So this system is going to continue to bring us just some spot chances of showers and possibly a couple thunderstorms as we head through the day. Most of the activity going to be in the first half of the day, and then things will really start to taper off as we head into the afternoon. dying down overnight, and then we are going to be left with high pressure that is going to build in and keep us very extremely hot over the next couple days. So this is going to be the last cooler day in the forecast before things change. So first half of the day seeing those showers and thunderstorms, and then we are in the mid 80s today. Temperatures climbing into the 90s in the 7-day forecast. All of those details in just a few minutes.
All right, Alyssa, thank you very much. We're going to take a quick check at traffic right now. This is I-465 at Ditch Road. You can see traffic moving along there. It does look like folks are driving a little bit slower in that area, so just be aware of that if you're headed to that part of Indianapolis. Now we are going to head to I-465 at US 52 Brookville Road. Traffic moving along a bit more quickly in this area. Roadways are wet out there, so that is something to keep in mind. Even if it's not raining, just look out for that standing water out there.
It is 4:32. Police need your help finding the man in these pictures. They say he's wanted in connection with multiple fires that were set deliberately.
After several cases of arson over the last few weeks, RTV6's Graham Hunter is talking to an expert about how investigators work to solve these crimes and what you can do to help.
Do you know who the person in these pictures is? If so, you can help catch a dangerous criminal.
Arson cases can be hard to solve. It can be hard to identify a suspect.
John Goodpaster is an associate professor of chemistry and chemical biology at IUPUI, and he used to work for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms.
The means to commit arson are readily available to almost anybody.
That's why Goodpaster says investigators first look at the victims.
That's one of the key parts of an investigation, is to find out who the victim was and who did they know and who might have a motive for harming them.
IMPD and IFD are working together to try and figure out who committed several arsons in Indianapolis. Our cameras were rolling as a home on Pennsylvania Street burned, and tonight we're seeing this video for the first time, captured by a neighbor's surveillance camera of another fire burning at a home on Talbot Street.
Often arsonists can try to set a fire, but then they leave the area immediately, so it's hard to trail them.
Neighbors previously told RTV6 the fires were started using patio furniture. The surveillance image released by police shows the suspect leaning down over furniture on a front patio.
It's something that we, as a community altogether, can help, and it matters what people can see and say and pass that information on.
So far, no one has been injured in these fires, but that could change. That's why police want you to help identify the person or people in these images, one showing a person riding a bike with a dark backpack and the other of someone on a porch.
Any one of these fires could then become large and quite costly and deadly.
A spokeswoman for the Indianapolis Fire Department says it's important to have a well-practiced evacuation plan and always know 2 ways out of every room.
There's no way to commit arson and not leave a trace.
Goodpaster says fingerprints and DNA frequently survive fires, so he's confident someone will eventually be brought to justice.
Eventually, they will find somebody that's responsible for this.
Reporting in Indianapolis, Graham Hunter, RTV6.
Graham, thank you. Police are asking for anyone who recognizes the person in the surveillance pictures to contact Crime Stoppers or IMPD's arson detectives at 317-327-6700. The Indianapolis Fire Department says arson numbers are up so far this year. As of last week, 109 of the fires investigated in 2019 have been set on purpose. That's a nearly 30% increase. 186 fires were ruled arson in all of 2018.
At 4:35, the driver accused of causing Sunday's deadly crash is due in court tomorrow. Newly released court documents shed light on what led up to this wreck and the aftermath. Investigators say Bruce Pollard showed no remorse or emotion after being told a family died and several other people were seriously injured. According to the probable cause, police say that he was only concerned about his personal items, medicine, and staying at a hotel. The documents also say the semi driven by Pollard was going 65 miles per hour when it crashed into stop traffic in a construction zone that was near the Keystone exit on the northeast side. The Coons family issued a statement for the first time since the crash, saying, quote, "At this extremely difficult time, we would like to express our gratitude to all of those who have reached out to our family following the tragic loss of Alana, June, and Ruby. They were all loved dearly by their family and friends. They will be greatly missed. We are brokenhearted by their loss, but we are sustained by our faith. We believe in the loving Heavenly Father who comforts his children in the midst of their most painful trials. We are steadfast and confident in knowing that our family will be reunited in the life to come," end quote.
The I-465 crash comes as state police take part in a new effort to crack down on aggressive and distracted driving around semis. ISP planned the Trooper in a Truck campaign before Sunday's tragedy. A state trooper is riding along with the trucking company Carter Express. The goal is to get a bird's eye view of dangerous driving and then dispatch other troopers to write tickets. Troopers say the campaign is not about getting you in trouble, it's about keeping you safe.
A lot of the passenger cars don't realize that these trucks take a lot of room to operate and a lot of space to get stopped or maneuver lanes. So when we start seeing passenger cars cutting these vehicles off, stopping short in front of them, again, we have serious risk of someone getting seriously hurt or dying.
On Tuesday, troopers handed out 83 tickets and warnings. The top violations include speeding and following too closely.
This morning, a woman is recovering after the carriage she was driving was rammed by a truck. Park County Sheriff's officials say this crash happened around 12:30 yesterday afternoon near the county fairgrounds. We're told the truck ran into the back of the buggy. Authorities say the driver took the eyes off the road. Unfortunately, that horse had to be euthanized.
A Muncie city official and local contractor have been indicted on federal charges in a public corruption probe. Federal prosecutors say 44-year-old Deborah Grigsby of Muncie and 60-year-old Tony Franklin of Yorktown face a number of charges. Prosecutors say Grigsby allowed the Muncie Sanitary District's administrator to steer infrastructure contracts to Franklin in exchange for kickbacks. Their arrests are the latest from a multi-year federal investigation of public corruption in Muncie.
The Circle City is welcoming a new development. Penrose on Mass Ave held a ribbon cutting yesterday afternoon. The complex is next to Old National Center and includes 236 luxury apartments, retail space, and a parking garage.
We wanted it to be a space that people can obviously call home as an apartment. And whether that's a temporary home or it's a place that they call home for a while, that's what we hope, but as well as really cater to the neighborhood.
According to the website, the apartment offers studio, 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom units. A 505 square foot studio unit goes for a little more than $1,200 per month.
There are a number of questions surrounding a shooting at a busy southern Indiana truck stop. The latest on the investigation is still ahead this morning. Alyssa.
And we are seeing some scattered showers and thunderstorms to start out today. Things will drop off as we head into the afternoon, and then the heat is on. We have a heat wave starting as we head through the day tomorrow, and we are going to see that stick around for the weekend. All of those details coming up.
Jetta, Tiguan, and select Atlas models.
It's 4:42 on your Wednesday. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. We're keeping a close eye on the roads this morning, especially as we got so much rain in the overnight hours. You can see the wetness on the roads here at I-65 at Fletcher Avenue as you're making your way between the north and south splits. A reminder, as you head south from here on southbound I-65, you will not be able to continue on I-65 south. You'll have to detour over onto I-70, and this will last through Monday for that construction project.
Community leaders in Knox County say nearly 300 people took advantage of hepatitis A vaccines. This is after officials offered the immunization clinic on Friday. The clinic was in response to a hepatitis A case at Buffalo Wild Wings in Vincennes. The health clinic is no longer offering the vaccines, but officials say you or your family member, if you ate at the restaurant, you need to contact your doctor.
An investigation continues into a deadly police-involved shooting at a busy southern Indiana truck stop. Officers say that the man there had a gun and fired it after police arrived at the scene. But they aren't ready to say if this is a case of attempted suicide by cop. Take a look at this photo captured by an eyewitness of a man holding a gun. Police say that the suspect fired that weapon, though it's not clear if he pointed the gun at anyone. But in an open parking lot like this, it created a dangerous situation. Indiana State Police say that an officer fired a single shot and wounded that suspect.
Nobody else was involved. Luckily, nobody else was injured. Naturally, this is a location right off the interstate in a busy truck stop, so we're very thankful. And it's just, again, another tragic situation. It's sad from every angle you look at it.
Suspect died at the University of Louisville Hospital. Multiple officers from a number of different agencies responded to that scene. State troopers have not said which agency the firing officer worked for.
This morning, President Trump praising the unified Republican Party after the House voted to pass a resolution rebuking the president's attack on 4 Democratic congresswomen. All but 4 House Republicans voting against the measure. As ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi reports, the vote following a chaotic scene erupting on the House floor as Nancy Pelosi went on record calling the president's tweets racist.
A partisan showdown on the House floor.
I know racism when I see it. I know racism when I feel it.
The mayhem igniting ahead of a vote on a resolution condemning the president for his tweets telling 4 congresswomen of color to, quote, go back to the countries they came from.
Every single member of this institution, Democratic and Republican, should join us in condemning the president's racist tweets. To do anything less would be a shocking rejection of our values and a shameful abdication of our oath of office to protect the American people.
Republicans immediately objecting to her use of the word racist and calling for it to be removed from the official record. The hour-plus long drama ending in a vote along party lines to approve the resolution, all but these 4 Republicans voting against it.
I believe this is about ideology. This is about socialism versus freedom.
On Tuesday, President Trump doubled down on his attacks and called the House resolution a, quote, con game. Overnight, adding in a tweet, quote, so great to see how unified the Republican Party was on today's votes concerning statements I made. Republicans have remained largely silent on the president's tweets, most notably Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who in his first public remarks echoed the president's criticism of Democrats not condemning what he called anti-Semitic comments by members of their own party.
The most vile accusations and insults against our nation have become incredibly routine.
McConnell then went on to issue blame on both sides, saying from the president to the speaker to freshman lawmakers, all have the responsibility to elevate public discourse. Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, Washington.
Well, today marks 5 years since Malaysian Airlines Flight 17 was shot down over eastern Ukraine. 298 people on board that plane died. The flight was on its way from Amsterdam to the Malaysian capital of Kuala Lumpur in July 2014 when it was shot out of the sky over the territory held by pro-Russian separatists. It was announced last month that 3 Russians and 1 Ukrainian are facing murder charges in the downing of that plane. Investigators from 5 countries, Australia, Belgium, Malaysia, and the Netherlands, and also the Ukraine, say that arrest warrants would be issued for those 4 suspects.
Authorities in Richmond, Virginia say a baby girl died after being left inside of a hot car. The child was reportedly left in the vehicle while the adult she was with shopped for groceries. The car was then driven to a house in South Richmond, which is where emergency crews were called. The child is believed to be 10 months old and was in cardiac arrest and died on the way to the hospital. According to the group NoHeatstroke.org, the baby is the 21st child to die after being left inside of a hot car this year. And Alyssa, we have some hot temps headed our way for later this week, something that people need to be aware of.
That's right, Meredith, and it is going to be a long stretch of heat, which is why we do have that excessive heat watch going into effect tomorrow afternoon and lasting until Sunday evening. We are going to see those heat index values, so what it actually feels like, into the triple digits. Right now, we are seeing our last of the cool days. 74 to start out here in Indianapolis. Humid outside. We have quite a bit of moisture hanging around in the air. Those winds are light out of the west-southwest, about 9 miles per hour. That's helping push some of those fog conditions out, but we are seeing some patchy fog and visibility that is low right around Lafayette and Muncie. So just be aware of that if either of those directions are part of your morning commute, because we could see that continue to build in as we head through the mid-morning. We're still tracking just a few showers and thunderstorms moving along this line of storms as it pushes out of the area. That's moving to the southwest. That brought us some heavy showers this morning. You may have seen that at your house, and we're continuing to see that move into Greensburg right now and towards Richmond and Seymour. We've seen a few lightning strikes with that system as well, so you might hear a rumble of thunder or two as this moves through. Throughout the day, we're going to start to see that taper off as that system moves out of the area and off to the east. So we are going to continue to see those showers develop until about mid-morning, and then things are really going to die off as we hit the midday hour, just leaving just a small chance of a hit and miss shower for our afternoon, and then things should be clearing out by the evening. But it is going to be a cooler day. Temperatures only in the mid-80s today, so not nearly as warm as we are about to be. Behind this system, as it moves out, we are going to be left with high pressure building in. This hot and humid air is going to really just settle in over the Midwest, bringing us extreme heat over the next couple days, starting on Thursday. Now, that's why we do have that excessive heat watch in effect starting Thursday afternoon and lasting through the weekend into Sunday evening. And you can see that includes all of Indiana right now. We might see that amplify into a warning as we head into Friday. That looks like it's going to be the hottest day in the forecast. Now, here's why we are going to see that. Actual temperatures not going to be too bad in the mid-90s, but heat index values will be in the triple digits, about 108, 109. Some areas will probably see 110 rather, on Thursday. So that is dangerous heat. You're definitely going to need to hydrate and likely stay indoors if you can over the next couple days. So today, not too bad. Temperatures in the upper 80s, and then we see that heat wave really move in. We are staying into the 90s as we head through the weekend. So very hot temperatures on the way. Be aware of that. You're definitely going to need to pay attention. Good time to get that Storm Shield app so you are aware of all the watches and warnings in effect. Again, scattered showers and storms continuing until about the midday hour here, and then we are going to see those taper off as we head into the afternoon. Today's highs in the upper 80s.
Alyssa, thank you. We're keeping a close eye on traffic this morning. No crashes to report around the metro area. Great news since we have those wet roads out there. Here's a look on the east side, I-70 and Sherman Drive. Traffic here is traveling smoothly eastbound and westbound. No problems to report. So let's take a look down to the southwest. This is I-465 near Man Road. Traffic in this area is also moving along up to speed. We'll continue to keep a close eye on things and keep you updated throughout the morning.
A veteran hundreds of miles away from home dies in the Hoosier State. This morning, the heartwarming story of how his adopted community is remembering him.
Staples, back to school and beyond.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 4:54 and we're taking a live look right now at I-465 at US 36 Rockville Road on the west side. There is a couple of cars out there right now. As you can see, traffic moving along just fine. Roadways are wet, so just be careful as you head out the door.
It is 4:55. A southern Indiana Vietnam vet died more than 100 miles away with little family or friends, but a Hoosier funeral home is making sure that Larry Miller is never forgotten. Hundreds of veterans and community members packed inside Indiana Veterans Memorial Cemetery as Larry Miller, a Vietnam veteran, was laid to rest. Taps and a 3-volley salute brought tears to the eyes of many. There was an honor guard and an escort for the casket. Vietnam vet Neil Sandrock says for a fellow veteran who was risked so much serving his country, being here to show respect just felt right.
Well, he gave his life almost every day to make me cry. And he deserves it, you know, whoever he is.
Morgan and Ney Funeral Center in Madison donated the casket and helped to organize this service. They do this for any vet in need of service and help. The call for community support for this service did reach out to a family member of Miller's and a nephew who knew his uncle was able to make it out, saluting the casket silently on his way out after the service.
A California woman celebrated a very special milestone earlier this week.
Happy birthday!
105. That's how old Mrs. Barbara Holman Robinson turned. And look at her, a vision in white. And what do you get when you turn 105? Ice cream, of course. She had a birthday bash at Leatherby's Family Creamery in Sacramento. When asked what her secret was to living a long life, she said it was serving God. I like that.
I like that response.
It always drives me crazy.
Like men, staying away from men or
right,
wine.
or cigarettes, or you know, Jim Beam every morning, something like that.
She looks so good.
She looks
I'm
great.
Jealous.
Yeah,
I wish I would look that good when I'm 105.
We'll just
I doubt that'll happen.
We'll have to see. Yes. All right. Well, we do need to get through today's weather before anything else.
Yes, and 105 is actually what our heat index values are going to be about over the next couple days here. Today is going to be our last cooler day in the forecast. We're in the upper 80s with some scattered showers and storms this morning. That's going to taper off as we head into the afternoon. And then we are extremely hot Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We have an extreme heat watch in effect because we are going to see those temperatures in the mid-90s, and then we're going to see those heat index values in the triple digits. So you're going to need to hydrate and be very aware of when you head outside.